Hello and welcome to my review of Under the Banner of Heaven, Episode 7. I'm using a new app for this because my other app is just completely broken, so, um, welcome to Episode 7. This was a really good episode. Obviously this is the finale and all that stuff, so it wraps up everything that we needed wrapped up in this episode. And yeah, we got Wyatt Russell. We finally saw Brenda's death in this episode, which that was horrifying. I mean, it didn't show like any like gore or anything, but like still kind of terrifying, you know what I mean? Just seeing her getting beat, by two crazy people. But yeah, also got to see, Andrew Garfield come to terms with his belief, and him ending somewhere in the middle of he still believes in the Mormon beliefs, obviously. But he also sees some of the hypocrisies in, like, the old of the past, and the fundamental Mormonism and all that stuff. It's where, like, last episode, he struggled with that. And something that I forgot to mention in the last episode is the fact that, that there's a verse that the fundamental Mormons tend to ignore, and that is that the church must evolve. So, there's like the fundamental Mormons, they stick with what they believe. They everything that was all the way back when it started, we want to follow that to rules. So, they're okay with polygamy, racism, sexism, all those stuff. But like, even there's a verse in the Mormon beliefs that's just the church must evolve. So there's the hypocrisies there. Yeah, obviously they catch the criminals. They even have to go to like a whole like casino for that thing. It's pretty interesting. I'm gonna make this one a little quick because this new app, I'm trying to figure this out. And also, I don't know, just roll with me here. Alright, so, I really liked this episode. And yeah, it's been all around part. It's been a really good series. And let's move on to our series review, before I announce what, next series I'm doing. I may test around with more apps and all that stuff after this, but, we move on to this, and as a series, this series is really good. It delves into Mormonism and just brings up a whole bunch of questions that you need to ask yourself as this goes on. I think it's very well told. Andrew Garfield does an excellent job. Gil Birmingham does a decent job. Wyatt Russell acts insane. We all know him for the U.S. agent and probably more roles, but it's the only LA role. Normie. But he was pretty good in this one, so I'm glad about that. As a series, this is really good series, and I cannot wait for future stuff. What was future? There's not gonna be a season 2. Anyways. Yeah, so yeah, I really enjoyed this series. If I have to give this series a rating, I mean, they've been mostly like 8s out of 10s and all that stuff. Oh, running up at this episode, my one complaint is that there's a whole little nightmare sequence and all that stuff, right? And while obviously it did service the plot, it felt super sudden. Like the dream had to do with him getting killed, like the Andrew character getting killed, and that was kind of random. So it was kind of random because like you were just like do 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 do, and then suddenly, it was kind of suddenly in its presentation. That's probably my only complaint about this series. So yeah, the only pure complaint I have about like any of the things. So yeah, I really enjoyed this series, and if I were to give this a rating, I would probably give it a 9 out of 10, because it stayed pretty consistent, didn't really falter in any of the points. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed the series as well. And let me announce what series is next. It's a series that I'm really excited to see because it's got better reviews than this one. And this one was amazing. So yeah, this next one gotta be really good. So yeah, our next series is gonna be next series is The Old Man, a series starring the guy named Jeff Bridges, who if you don't know where he's from, and you're a normie like me who only knows him from one thing, Jeff Bridges is Obadiah Stane in Iron Man, which is probably the main reason I'm seeing this, but also it looks really interesting as just a story. So I'm going to be checking that out for the next series. So yeah, I can't wait to get into that, and I hope you enjoy it. I hope you enjoyed this series of reviews. It's my first series, and it's the first one I'm coming across. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed. If you enjoyed this series, hit the like button, subscribe, comment what you thought of the series if you've seen it. You probably should not watch these reviews if you haven't seen it before, I'm sorry, just a word of advice. So yeah, if you're on Instagram, like, follow, and maybe comment what you thought, and all that stuff. And boom. Next up is The Old Man, and I hope you enjoyed this. Bye.